Hello and welcome to this Athena Network member spotlight. My name's Kate Cherry. I'm the regional director of the Athena Network in Bedfordshire and Mid Hertfordshire, and we love to spotlight our members and help you find out more about them and give them the floor. And so today we have the lovely Agnes Agocs from the St Albans group you're in, aren't you? And she's based in Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, and she is an interior designer and actually more than that, because you're an engineer as well, aren't you, really?
Yeah.
So so thank you for being with us today, Agnes.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Kate. Nice to see
You're
you.
very welcome. And it's actually the first interview of the year, so Happy New Year. But you probably, if you're watching this later on, that doesn't matter. So we'll jump right into it. Tell us what your business is, well, what your business does, and how do you help people?
Yeah, so I am a full service interior designer specializing in high-end contemporary and minimalist homes, mainly serving West London, North London, and the Hertfordshire area, but sometimes I travel quite far as well, if it so happens. And I also have a special service that is interior space planning, and that I can provide remotely as well, which I have been doing a lot last year. But ultimately, I help people live better lives by creating better homes for them. And practically, I am the person who takes the stress out of renovation and the overwhelm of having to make hundreds of decisions when things can easily go wrong.
Yeah, and I can imagine actually that's the key thing because people have a vision maybe of what they want. I'm not very good on vision, but some people really know what they want and they've got their Pinterest board and everything. Um, but it's all those other things that they don't think about, like how far away is that from that and which way does that door open? And yeah. So is it good for you to be brought in, say there's a building project going on? That's the ideal, the planning stage is the ideal time for you to be brought in, right? Not afterwards.
Yeah, so I would say as early as possible. I would say sometimes it's even better to for me to come in before they contact an architect if they are gonna need an architect because it's a whole different approach versus how an architect would ask the questions about their lifestyle. So we really want to design from the having the end product and then just peel back the layers, what needs to be done to achieve that, because eventually you are doing this to support your lifestyle and to make yourself comfortable. So most of the decisions need to be made to start with, even though they're going to be the last things you're probably going to install. So yeah, it's never too early, basically.
I love that. And so I know your story. So tell us a bit more about how you started your business, how you came to do what you do, because you
Yeah.
didn't just do interiors, did you?
So that was a little bit of a funny shape path for me to get here where I am now. I have a master's degree in structural engineering, which you mentioned, and then quite a few years after, I got an economics degree as well, also a master's. But in between, in 2010, I qualified as an interior designer, and the business then picked up quite quickly. That was still back in Hungary, in Budapest, where I'm originally from. But when I moved to the UK in 2013, it was so easy to get my career going in commercial construction, where I was commercial manager for years, that I almost forgot about interior design. And basically, I got to a certain level in my career that was just too much, burnt out, as we do in corporate world sometimes. So that's when I started seriously thinking about, all right, then I'm just gonna have to go back to my passion and started my business in 2021 again in the UK this time.
Which you say you've been a member with Athena for a little while, haven't you? And then you moved over. to my group, didn't you, a couple of years ago?
So that was pretty soon after I joined. So basically, I joined Athena 2022, which
Mm.
is when I went full time in my business. So the first year was I was still having my full-time job as well as the business. And then 2022 January, I went full time in my business. This is when we actually moved out of London as well into this area where we live now. So I don't even know how I found Athena. It was sort of like, it was meant to be, probably, because I really needed to know people and especially like-minded business women to be around me to learn from them how to actually set up businesses. So because I got into contact with Jacqueline originally, first I joined her group, but it wasn't local to me. It was actually quite far. So I just felt like I never got mm, the best things out of it because it would have been just too much to catch up with people in person, which I love the most. And I visited a few of your groups, and it was just immediately like the vibe in between us and the ladies. It just made sense to try and come over to your
It's
groups.
more, I love that. It's more of a community, isn't it, than it's networking, yes, but it's a community as well. And I think people
Yeah.
don't quite um, appreciate what they're going to get when they become a member. And all those, we talk about the networking and growing your business, and of course, that's the main product is networking, but actually, networking isn't just that; it's the community as well.
No, and that's basically my reason was mostly that aspect, the community aspect, and to make some new friends essentially as well. Just because obviously I needed some new friends as well in the area. So yeah, and I often visit your other groups as well, and sometimes I don't even know who is in what group because they are all, intertwined, if that's a good word for it. So they all visit around. So it's a big, large group.
Yeah, and that's the Pass Plus, isn't it, that you've been using?
Yes.
And you're right, we have the joint events as well, which is really good. So I'm so pleased that you enjoy it. What's your number one tip for another woman who's looking to start a business?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one would probably be to get around other business owners as soon as possible. I think for women, it's easier to connect with other business women. I didn't want to say that first because men business owners can also help. But if you try to do it from scratch on your own, it is very slow and painful to start a business from scratch and for the first time. And there's just so many aspects of running a business apart from the actual knowledge that you have in your area that if it doesn't feel overwhelming that you're doing it all wrong, but then obviously you don't want to feel overwhelmed. So this is when when networking and getting around other business owners really help, like when you mingle with people who are just one step ahead of you in their process of building their business, you will learn so much and get your business going so much faster than if you are just trying to do everything by yourself.
I love that. And what have you got going on at the moment? If we, as we come to a close, what would your call to action be? How can people interact with you? Where can they find you? And what programs have you got going on that people can
Yeah.
leverage?
So 2025 is my year. I decided that. Basically because I had a young child, I wasn't kind of working to my full potential. So as in time, so I increased my capacity this year to be able to take on more projects and larger projects as well. And I already have an online course which is very specific for those who would like to create a minimalist home by themselves. But I am actually creating another shorter version, not the same, not the same course, a shorter course that will be appealing to basically anyone who ever wanted to paint a room in their house, and that will be coming out early February. So if you want to know about it or when it launches, then probably a best idea to sign up to my newsletter, I would say.
Brilliant. And so I'll put that link, links to connect with you in this
Yeah, thank
wherever
you so
wherever
much.
people are finding this. And that was me, wasn't it? Because you helped me from a distance with my painting of my bedroom. So I knew I was going to do it, and I just couldn't. You helped me have the courage to go with the popping colour and not the sort
Yeah.
of beige. So
So
which
you
I'm
already
ever
had a
so
good
grateful.
idea of that tail blue, and then you almost chickened out, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So the course will be a
Mm.
lot of that, and even how to arrive to choose a color and why you would choose a color. So and then obviously all the bits of how to actually choose a paint and finish and where to find it. So yeah, all that.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's going to be so valuable for lots of people, I'm sure. Um, I have loads of ideas for you because that's what I do when as my business is networking and running networking for people and connecting people, I already have ideas. So I'll tell you those offline. But thank you so much for coming on today. And I hope that was useful for everybody. If you'd like to visit one of our meetings, whether it's the St Albans group, which is the third Wednesday of the month, or any of the others that I run, or if you're seeing this from further afield and you would like to know about more of the national groups, then let me know. But thanks so much, Agnes, for your time,
Thank you.
and see you all soon. Bye.